Hello, this is Mr. Moss coming to you from Reed High School. It's Monday, August 17th, and we are starting the new 2020-21 school year, and I'm excited to be able to have you all in my class this year, even under the circumstances of what we've got going here with the COVID-19 stuff happening. I just wanted to do a small introduction of myself and also of the class so you have a general idea of what it's all about. I have a PowerPoint sitting here in front of me, and I'm going to be switching back in between a couple screens here and there to give you a general idea of what you can do and what you can expect. But first of all, I just wanted to introduce myself. Here's a couple of small pictures of myself. I couldn't really find any funny or informal ones too much, so I had to go a little more on the formal side of this, so I apologize. But here I am, PE, my email address, all that stuff too. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so my education history. I was born and raised here in Sparks, Nevada. I went to Florence Drake Elementary. I went to Sparks Middle School. High school, I went to Sparks High School. And as you can see, I have some of the emblems there as far as mascots are concerned. If you guys want to do a little bit of math, which wouldn't hurt your brains a little bit, I graduated from Sparks High School in 1987. So you can kind of calculate it generally where and how old I am. I've been in the school district teaching for quite a few years, but I'll get that here in a second. While I was at Sparks High School, I participated in school, of course. I graduated with honors. I participated in sports and other activities too, but mainly just the sports part. I played football, I played basketball in the wintertime, and I ran track and field in the springtime while there. I had the opportunity to go on to college, and I got a chance to go to Brigham Young University, wherein I got a bachelor's in math education. Before I went into math education, I was thinking about wanting to be an engineer. First, it was a civil engineer and then mechanical, and then it dawned on me that I would rather be teaching and hanging out with teenagers like you guys and helping you get your education as well. And I also wanted to be able to coach because I love sports so much. At Brigham Young University, while I was getting my education, I got to play football there and spend 4 years traveling all over the country and playing everywhere. And then I graduated, got a chance to come back here to Sparks, Nevada. My wife is also from here. My wife graduated from Reed High School, and all of I'm going to talk about my kids here in a second. But anyways, so I do have a little bit of connection here at Reed. I went on to get my college education a little bit too. As far as my master's degrees, I got 2 of them. One was in teaching and one was in school administration, and those were from Grand Canyon University. So moving on here. So my interest in hobbies. I love to spend time with my family. I love most sports. Anything that's actively engaging stuff and being outside, I do that. In the past, I coached football and track and field. I just recently retired from doing both of those. I love being in the outdoors. I love to read, and don't hold this against me. If I were to choose a professional football team, I've been a Chargers fan ever since I was 9 years old. If I were to pick other sports like baseball, I'd be a San Francisco Giant fan. If I were to pick basketball, let me see here. I'd probably have to say the Utah Jazz. I know when I was growing up, I really liked the 76ers a lot because of Dr. J and Moses Malone. Some of you may not even know those names anymore. They were pretty famous back then. Anyways, I show a picture here of me when we went to won one of our region championships as a track and field team there too. So anyway, so I love a lot of stuff that goes with sports, and I love teaching in here too. So here's what you want to know about me. I've been at Reed High School for the last 19 years. This will be my 20th year here at Reed High School. I've been teaching a total of 25 years in the school district. I was at Sparks High School. Started my first year teaching at Sparks Middle School, then went to Sparks High School for 4 years, and then I came here. And then I lived in Germany for 2 years. The interesting thing about me living in Germany was that I was there when the wall fell down. I actually got some pieces of the wall from there. It was a good experience to be a part of that history. Like I mentioned before, I had coached football and track and field a combined of 18 years. And I've also loved to run and exercise and ride my bike. And I've ran a few half marathons in my lifetime, and hope at some point I'll be able to run a full marathon at one point. All right, so here's my family. Some of the things, the pictures here from Universal Studios. I've been married 28 years. As I mentioned, my wife was born and raised here as well, and we've known each other pretty much our whole entire lives. She graduated from Reed High School. I have 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls. 3 of the 4 of those kids have graduated from Reed High School. I have one currently here at Reed who will be a sophomore, and his name is Dylan. We have a dog, and her name is Daphne, and she's a Labradoodle. I have one grandson. He's 2.5 years old, and then my oldest daughter will be having their second baby in October, so I'll be a grandpa for the second time. A few pictures of my family here, as you can see. Little fun things that we like to do. Some of the activities we've been in and where we want to do. As you can see, the youngest one is Dylan. My twins, I have twins that are boy-girl twins, and then my oldest daughter, who is Kaylin, and she also graduated from here as well. But here's just a couple pictures of us doing a little bit of fun stuff. Activities that I've been doing during quarantine and this summer because of all the stuff. We did all kinds of activities, things that haven't done a whole lot of in a long time. We did this, what was called a murder mystery party, where you dress up as a character and you pretend you're that person, and you figure out like it's a clue game. I played a few video games, not too much, but my oldest son likes to play a little bit of Madden and 2K and a little bit of FIFA, so I do that with him. Doing sports, doing a home project. I re-landscaped our backyard and put a couple retaining walls in and some landscaping. I got out and did a lot of running and biking, cooking new things. I like to read, and then we played a lot of board games too. So I don't know what you guys have been doing, but that's pretty much what I've been busy with. Why I became a teacher. So make a difference in the world, and you individually, love for students and learning, love for education and teaching, love for coaching, and love having all my vacations and summer vacation off just like you do. Now, quick thing as far as PE overview, and I'm going to switch back through a few things here. Daily participation, try to do that 60 minutes a day of physical activity. Where we'll be at school, it won't be as much of a big deal as it will be when you're at home. When you're at home, there'll be a thing that you need to log into there, pull up an assignment, and then pick an activity to do that day, and then log in what you did and how long you did it for. Now, as far as coming to school here, for any scenario, dressing out in the locker room, we will not be dressing out, at least for the first 9 weeks for sure, okay? So there will be no need for any PE clothes except for one thing, and that's to make sure you have a good pair of tennis shoes or walking shoes or running shoes, because of COVID and not being able to use equipment, we'll be doing a lot of power walking and walking around off campus on the streets, and we have some routes that are picked, and there'll be 2 classes or something like that we need to do, and we need to make sure we're staying social distancing. We're wearing a mask, so it's not too strenuous, so we won't be walking that fast, but we will be kind of like 2 to 3.5 miles in one class period for that whole thing until we figure out what we're going to do with this COVID thing. So this thing will eventually build up, but I've got all this stuff here. Grades will be weekly participation. You'll receive 30 points per week, because there are times when you only see me twice here at school, and then one day you'll be at home, and on that one day at home you'll need to do an activity and report it to me. So 10 points for each day of participation. Now, if you're only here one day of the week, that means that you'll have to do 2 activities at home, and I'll give you a variety. So we have 5 categories that'll come from. It'll come from cardio, lower body strength, upper body strength, core, and flexibility. So you get to choose from those things for you to do that, okay? Absence of makeups, again, those will all be done. If you're absent, you have to make it up through Microsoft Teams, and there'll be a category for you to be able to choose and do an activity for that above and beyond. Now, as far as what you need to do there. Now, safety, as you know, while we're at school, social distancing, a mask will be required, a good pair of walking or tennis shoes, sunscreen, if you have some, to bring it with you, because we'll be outside. Water, bring your own water. It's important that you do that, because when we're walking, because we'll be outside a lot, and when we're outside, we can wear hats. Sunglasses are appropriate too. No backpacks will be allowed to be taken. Those will be left off in the locker room here to be secured for you, and all that stuff. If you have any questions or not sure about some things, you can always refer to Microsoft Teams, and look up under the class materials for the syllabus. And if you have to, you can always talk to me and contact me either through email or through Microsoft Teams. Now, a good thing that I want to share with you in that, as far as accessing Microsoft Teams, I'm going to escape out of this here. I'm going to go to a different screen here. And as you can see where we're at, hold on, that's not the right screen. Hold on. Let's see if I did this right. Nope, I don't have it there. But anyway, so here's where the syllabus is. It's in Microsoft Teams. You can access that too. Maybe that's why it's, oh, here we go. So how to access Microsoft Teams from any device. I have this in Microsoft Teams. I'm going to walk you through it a little bit here, but this takes you through the steps as far as what to do and how to do it. And if you forgot your password, the information is there how to take care of that. And you'll see this here, that you'll have this if you go to Office 365. Then you can go to, Teams. The biggest thing is you need to know as well with this whole thing is that you need to also be able to do your Outlook. So your email, and that's with your student ID. You can even contact, and you'll see a lot of communication going that way as well. Okay. So there's your Microsoft Teams. As far as that is concerned, if you have a hard time with that, we can go in here. I know I'm doing this quickly, but you always can refer back to this if you choose to. If you go to Washington County School District, which is there, you go to students and parents. You can click there, or if you scroll down, it shows right here for the quick links as to your Office Sign In 365 here. Okay. And it pops up, and it gives that same screen that we saw there. You can access your Outlook, which is where you can get your communication and your Teams. I know there's apps if you use your tablets and your phones and stuff like that too. Okay, and like I said, with this thing here, here's your syllabus of things that we have a little more in detail. I didn't go over all of it. You can read through it yourself. There will be a point where on Microsoft Teams I will have you say that you read through this and signed off that you understand everything that's going on there, and that your parents will have to check off on it too. Okay, and I'll put that in as an assignment for you guys. So if you have any questions, welcome to Reed High School. Another year, 2020-21. It's going to be an interesting one, and see how it all plays out. I look forward to seeing you in the class. Have a good day.